Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. Got another crypto video for you, continuing the kind of phase 2 of the crypto build out. So phase 2 for the crypto build out, and I can't remember how much I talked to about this in the previous video, is getting this ready to support multiple miners and to make it quieter, which means I got to be able to put a door on this place, I got to get proper ventilation, and I got to get network infrastructure here so that I can support multiple miners so I don't have to run a network cable, right, tapping off my game room through a doorway. So that's what we're doing today. And so I figured I'd show you my progress and show you how I tackled this. The miner is turned off for the sake of this video. So I'm losing money for you people just to give you a YouTube video. I kid. So here's what we're doing. I need to get network into this room. Now, a smarter man would have thought about this before the drywall went up in the house construction, right? I am not that man. So I had to figure out how to do this after the fact. And after brainstorming with my wife, the easiest way to get it in here was to actually take out the floor. So I cut a section of this subfloor out, exposing the rafters, and then we just did this. We ran conduit under the floor, and that laneway there takes me underneath my game room and all the way into my mechanical room. Right, and it terminates right above that drop ceiling where I can very easily hit the network rack. So this was the best decision. So I guess starting out, cutting out this floor, a little nerve-wracking, right, to cut into your floor, but it's a utility closet. So even if I screw it up, I can repair it and it's going to be okay, right? So measure twice, cut once. I just measured off the wall, looking at the existing nail and screw holes to make sure I got, kind of centered on these I-beams, right? Make sure I was kind of parallel. And it's not perfect, but I got close enough to where I had bearing surface, as you can see, right on each of the joists. And I cut it too wide, so I had access to two joist space here, just in case one was blocked for some reason or I needed to shift my plan a little bit. And it worked out pretty well. Set the depth on your circular saw and go nuts. And the other thing I chose to do was I ran this kind of at some seams. So like right here was a joint, right? So I cut here. Right, this is an actual cut, but I ran it along this seam here. So this was all no, this was not a seam, but I ran a seam here for alignment, and I ran a seam, you see right there, for alignment. So I chose this very kind of strategically to have some better, to help me get my lines right. And overall, it turned out well. And so when I'm done here, I'll just plop that back down on the floor and screw it down. I thought about needing to maybe do cross bracing, right, under in this void here, but I really don't need to. I mean, these joists are 12 inches on center. So I think those I-beams are plenty of horizontal support. So I can just basically slap this thing down and screw it down, and we're good to go. So what I did here, as some details, is I used 1.5" PVC, and I sized this large so that I could have room for future drops, because I'm going to be running quite a bit of stuff in here, not just for the crypto room, but for other things upstairs. So this is PVC 1.5" conduit. I've got tied here at one end, and I've got tied at the other end all the way down there, and the rest is just kind of laying and hanging on the fiberglass bats, and I'm perfectly comfortable with that. You can see a coupler right there. In order to make this work with the space that I have, I actually had to take these 10-foot sticks and cut them down in half, and then use couplers to kind of thread them and piece them in here, right? Because I couldn't work with a 10-foot stick. So that's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. Especially all this is going to be telecommunications wire. It's going to feed pretty easy. So it's all PVC there, but I didn't want PVC, up exposed, because everything in here is EMT, and I just wanted it to look prettier. I'm not gonna say it's pretty because you guys see my work, but prettier, right? So what I did here is I took a threaded female end on the PVC, took a threaded male end on the EMT, and transitioned from 1.5" conduit, PVC conduit, to 1.5" EMT. And then I've got an EMT elbow there with a coupler, and another EMT elbow, and into this conduit body, this 3-way conduit body. From here, we're going to split. So the cables destined for this room are going to go up and then out into the network rack that's going to go, right here. This is going to continue on shoot up into that corner and go straight up and out the roof. And that will be the branch that will feed everything else upstairs that I want to run. Mainly, I'm going to run some additional Cat 6 cable through there for camera, for PoE, and for additional network drops in the game room, because we've got the game room set up, and we've got some gaming consoles in there. And actually, I don't know if I've done a video on that, so I'll have to look. If I haven't done a video on that, I will. I'll do a video on the home theater setup in the game room now that we've got it all in there. So that is that's the plan for the telecommunications. And then I've got a single pair of OM4 fiber that I'm going to run, and that's going to actually connect this upstairs rack to the downstairs rack. And that'll be, you know, for the life of the home, right? I mean, one strand or one pair of fiber, that's all the bandwidth I'll ever need. It'll be running at a 1 gig link to start, because that's all I can support right now with the current equipment. But if I ever need it faster than that, 10 gig, 25 gig, more, as long as I buy the right equipment, it'll support it. So to me, that was a no-brainer for how to connect this thing versus something like just a Cat 6 cable. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's really all I'm doing. Once that's done, I'm going to have more boxes along this wall to support the network cables, and then I'll probably do some more electrical boxes and conduit just for future expansion, and videos for that will be coming in the future as I have time to get to it. So hope you all found this useful, at least kind of showing you what I did and how I approached it. And really, like, going under the floor, this was not my first idea. This was like number 3 as far as how can I do this. And it took brainstorming with my wife and basically her telling me that I don't like your current idea, find a different idea to come up with this. So I would highly recommend bouncing ideas off of your significant other or trusted friend. It helps you think through the problem, because you can train your brain, right? If you tell your brain, right, how do I, tell your brain to solve for X. How do I accomplish this task? And your brain will start pumping out solutions. So don't always go with the first thought. Sometimes there's a better way. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.